Third video of the day. All these threes today. I've discussed this in three different areas this morning. One in a funnies closed group, which was odd, but I still did it. And one in PM. And, well, two in PM. and myself also, so that's four. I was pulling cards and reminded. So I'm going to do the video. So it's out of me. Oftentimes, especially when I do pull cards for other people, there's a certain card pull that one can do that answers what one hopes for and what one fears. I cannot tell you how many countless times that what is hoped for is injustice, and what is feared is anything from the horse, which is power, ecstasy, happiness. That's what's feared. And so when I do card pulls and this comes up and I see this, and then I can sense it in whatever direction for their world, their personal existence, their life, whether it's relationships, whatever it may be. Many times they are hoping for this injustice. Now that seems dumb because they're saying, hey, you know, what's going on with my relationship, right? They're wanting it to be fixed. So a lot of them own it because they're asking me for this reading. They understand my skill sets. They understand I'm not a bullshit artist. They understand I'm going to say it straight up. So not all do, but some will come back, well, no, I want it to work out or whatever. But if we are expecting injustice, that is quote-unquote hoping for injustice. If we are expecting injustice to the United States and the government, how about all leaders are making proper decisions? And then this level of fear. We fear the happiness. We fear, and I'm saying have I pulled those cards for myself as well? Yes. And then when I looked at it, I was like, oh dang, it's right. How are these cards so right? When I would, first be pulling a new set or a new card, pattern, whatever. When I would see those things, oh, let me look at it. Oh, crap, it's true. I'm expecting to mess up, and therefore I messed up. I'm expecting to fail in some way, so therefore I'm tripping. I'm expecting something to go wrong, therefore it does. Okay, that's how powerful we are. So we could take that same magic, that same power, and see not necessarily justice in the name of revenge, so much as justice for ourselves. Trusting our skill sets. Admitting our weaknesses. Yeah, I got a few of them. Don't we all? But until we look at those, we're not getting any further. And they will keep showing up in our world until we get it. We'll see it in other people. We'll have moment after moment of what the hell. Impatience is a good example of this. Back, 15 plus, and even recently, there's still times when I get impatient. It's way less, though. And then I'll calm myself down, and, I'll realize what I'm doing. And ironically, ants will come visit me and bite me recently. That patience. If we do not have patience, we are tested until we do. Or some die and never get it, right? Right? So again, when we're walking around hoping, when we're focusing to something going wrong, when we're focusing to, the one today in the closed group was a neighbor that was clearly out of boundary, physically, mentally, and emotionally. So, focus to that, scream it out more, put it in a closed group so that everybody else is seeing it too, giving it energy. It's no different than any of the happenings for the United States or the world, for that matter. The more of us that panic over the fear-driven things, the more we feed it. And that's why that stuff is fed. It's fed to us. Everything from this disease, the rooster's crowing, it's time to wake up. Everything from the disease from mosquitoes to the salmon to the whatever. Sure, are there small pockets of moments? Sure. Does that mean it's everywhere? No. More importantly, we have so much quote-unquote magic and power that we can actually just, the only things that surround me are healthy and clean. The only foods I eat are healthy and clean. We technically can sit down to non-organic food, clear that food energetically, raise its vibration, love it, clean it, and be just fine. Or you can even go so far as to say, well, here's my solution. I grow my own food. I trade with other people that don't use pesticides. Great. That's great. For those of us that might not be able to, for those that have still not tapped into your full potential, you can alter anything. And more importantly, when we're internally more aligned, our outer world provides. So again, even if we talk micro, macro, if we're focusing to ourselves, we've got ourselves all lined up, then it's easier to focus to everybody else, the whole world. Will it take more than one person to do so? Oh yeah. It's like a tiny ping when I do it. So if thousands of us do, bigger ping. If millions of us do, bigger ping. So many are just caught in their own personal dramas, their own personal problems, that it's very difficult to pull out and address anything that's on a bigger level. The learned helplessness is fed for a reason, so that we are caught in that same cycle repetitively, so that we don't create, so we don't find solutions, so we don't stand up and be like, you know what, enough. If we're too busy running around trying to fix it in our own personal space, it's very difficult to look at the bigger pictures. I get that. That's why everybody keeps saying focus on yourself. Once we do that, the work doesn't stop, and then we have to focus on everything else. It's just part of it all. And the whole reason why so many of us are so driven, right? It's not just for us, and we know this the whole dang time. So, in that moment, that single, tiny, solitary moment, we can shift it, whatever it is. When I often tell people, or suggest, you do as you wish, when I used to catch myself all the time in negative, like all the time, I had to stop, like put on the brakes. So I would catch myself, and then I would repeat 3+ times. Sometimes I did it 10 times in a row, to stop the cycle. Psychology world uses the concept of recording over the tape. We have old tape playing, and we have to record over it. I often also suggest that if a person's putting themselves down, negative self-talk, list 10 things that are awesome about you. And a lot of times I'm in front of somebody for 5 minutes, and I can tell them 5 things. It's the way I see whatever, but every one of us can list 10 things that are great about us, right? It's very important to catch ourselves. Words are so powerful. If you have doubt of loved ones, stop yourself and change the wording. They are safe. They have everything they need. They are provided for. Whatever it is, they are healthy. They have all the solutions for their health. They have all the solutions and answers right at their lap. They have all the answers at their fingertips. Those are some of the things I state out loud when somebody's, going off on a negative direction, and all their power is just spilling out all over the place. And in order to counterbalance it, we have to be that much stronger and alter the flow of the incoming. All right? This goes for small matters all the way to the big matters. I've watched it over and over and over again for 10+ years now. 20 years, really, if I was unconscious about it. But I saw it. We all see it. We just don't register it. Oh, it's a coincidence. That just happened to happen. Not always. Oh, wait, not at all. A lot of times, while we're overthinking, is he, is she, really, we're causing it. Think about that for a little bit. Really, just look at yourself for a little bit and love it about you, too. Putting yourself down isn't going to help. I fucked up. Alright, now we're moving on. It really is that simple. It does no good to keep kicking and kicking ourselves. It just does no good. It really doesn't. You know it. I know it. We all know it. We've all done it. Maybe not everybody. Maybe some just never do. But those of you that have, you know it. And why? Because somebody else said whatever. Because somebody else. Because society this. Because whatever that. If we all just knew we were fine just the way we are. What would there be to fight against? What would there be to prove? Nothing. There wouldn't be anything left to prove. And then therefore there's nothing left to do, and there's nothing left to fight, so then what do? Well, we create. Much love, precious treasures. Have fun with creating your world.